And we're back here at CPAC with Dave Brat. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Sure.
So obviously a lot of people are concerned right now with the economy, what's going on. What's your latest thoughts on what we're seeing?
Well, it's not even thoughts. All the evidence is in, and it's a disaster, right? So last week, CBO just said we got 20 trillion more in debt. We're 32 trillion in debt now. So we'll be 52 trillion in debt in 10 years. The Federal Reserve created a financial crisis back in 2008. They did it again. They kept interest rates at 0%. Now we're in a mega bubble. So we're going to go into recession to cool that down, to get rid of inflation. So we'll be in a recession for a year. Productivity, the best guy in the world is at Northwestern University, Robert Gordon. Productivity numbers are at 1% for the next 10 years. So our pro-growth Republican guys will say, well, don't worry, we're going to grow out of it. Don't worry, we're not going to grow out of it, right? So they're spinning you stuff too. No one wants to deliver the hard medicine and say we got to eat our spinach. We got some tough times. Plus, we're doling out $200 billion for a war in Ukraine right now, and they won't audit where that money's going even, right? So the American people should want to know about this. The kids are worse off. Social Security is bankrupt in 15 years. Medicare is bankrupt in 15 years. No one talking on behalf of our kids. We're having a pizza party right now. The woke CEOs, the Fortune 500, they, of course, want the game to keep going so they can keep making their profits. They retire in 3 or 4 years with a golden parachute. So they don't care about the long-run trajectory of the country. And so there's your basic summary of the fundamentals, and those are the fundamentals in economics, right? Economic growth, productivity is not looking good. Human capital matters. That's K-12 education. How's the quality there?
What about the debt ceiling? Where do we stand?
The debt ceiling is our only leverage point to fix some of these things. And so if the Republicans cave on that vote and say, well, you know, we're going to save a little bit, that doesn't come close to answering any of the problems I just laid out. And everybody knows this. It's just a matter of courage. And it's hard being in our party because we're the eat your spinach party. The other side is Santa Claus 24/7, and that's artificial, and it will collapse.
One last thing. You're saying the word, the R word, recession. Some are saying maybe, possibly.
Yeah.
Soft landing. I don't know what it all means.
Yeah. No, well, it's very hard to gauge. I've been wrong on that. I thought for sure we would have been in it last year. But the pizza party never ends, right? So when you look at like money printing, it's very complex how much liquidity is actually out there. So it turns out there's been more liquidity out there, which means there's a bunch of money still sloshing around. Even from the COVID spending, that money has not all been spent yet. That will come to an end. And then it will go down. There's no doubt about it. And the low productivity numbers I just mentioned is certainty on that.
So if we're talking recession, do you have a date in mind, or could you give
I think the Fed and all the blue chips now say the second quarter of this year for sure it'll be zero growth.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Dave Brat, thank you so much here at CPAC. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Great to be with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.